In 90 days, I will be on a flight to Spain to do the Camino de Santiago for a second time. My name is Eunice Uni Kim, and I am doing the last 100 kilometers of the Portuguese Way. And this is a video series that I've been working on about how I'm preparing for that experience. Now, there are so many videos on YouTube and just really like all the resources on the internet, not just on the internet, but printed in books, about preparing for the practical elements of the Camino. And this is not that video. This video is about kind of the ways that I am channeling my excitement for this upcoming trip into slightly more fruitful outcomes, perhaps not necessarily like productive. And I just thought I'd share a little bit of that with you. Number one, I have been listening to audiobooks. Admittedly, last year when I went to Spain, I didn't know very much about its history, especially its political history. And now, after listening to several audiobooks, I feel a lot more equipped to navigate the cultural institutions, museums that have all these incredible landscapes on display, as well as articles and illustrations from that document its political past, specifically the Spanish Civil War. And I also know a lot more than before about Catalan, Basque, and Galicia. And for that, I am very grateful to Libby, which is where I checked out these audiobooks. The three books that I have read or am in the process of reading are Hell and Good Company by Richard Rhodes, and so far this has been my favorite. That one's specifically about the Spanish Civil War. Spain by Michael Reed, which is more about its modern political history, and Iberia by James Michener. And this is one that I just dipped my toes into. I'm someone who feels much more enriched by understanding context. So if you are maybe a liberal arts girly like me, consider reading some nonfiction books before your next trip. I certainly feel more grounded. And yes, I'd like to thank the public library for that. Okay, number two, I have been watching Shrek in Spanish every single day for the past 20 days, and I plan on watching it for at least 30. I have to read you the post that made me want to do this to begin with. Danielle Price 007 says on March 18th, 2025, she wrote, "In 8th grade, I took Spanish class with my best friend. A few months in, my friend's grasp on Spanish was noticeably better than the rest of ours. His vocabulary was wider, even if he couldn't speak Spanish, and his pronunciation was lauded by our teacher. One day, she finally asked what kind of studying he was doing outside of class. He revealed that every day after school, he went home and watched Shrek with Spanish audio. Every day. He said it was the superior version of Shrek anyway." And I think I I might agree. I have an older iPad that, I was just gonna retire, but now its sole job is to play me Shrek in Spanish every night before I go to bed. And it's just like a nice cue to my brain that it's time to wind down, time to indulge in some childhood joy. And I'm sitting there with my little Shrek screen, and I'm repeating words from the movie. I think I will recite to you my favorite part of the movie. "Tal vez algunos mueran, pero es un sacrificio que estoy dispuesto a aceptar." Anyways, yeah. If you are looking for a fun way of engaging your brain in a different language, I highly recommend doing it with a piece of entertainment that you have a lot of good feelings about already. And I think Shrek is particularly good because lots of iconic lines that I want to be able to say, and the voices and characters are so different that even when you're just listening to the audio, the conversation is very distinct. So that's what I've been doing for the past 20 days, and it has been so fun. Number three, I set goals with my friend Devin. And I just needed to explain a little bit of my travel philosophy. It's not necessarily travel philosophy, but when you are at a place where there are so many opportunities, like to do whatever, I think it's really important for each member of your party to choose one thing that they really want to do and that the group makes a collective effort to see it done. When I would go to Disneyland with my coworkers after work while I lived in LA, of course there wasn't enough time to like go off and for each of us to do every single thing that we wanted to do. We would all just share what it is that we wanted. Like I really wanted a candied apple, and everyone would come with me to go get a candied apple. Or someone would say, I really want to ride Pirates of the Caribbean. And we would all just march over and we just accept that this is how we were going to spend our day. And so I think putting some or orienting your travel experience around like a single goal per person can really help with everyone feeling willing to expend that energy to make that person happy. Um, so this trip, I'm just doing it with one other person, but I figured I might as well ask my friend to participate in this framework with me. So we got on a call earlier this week, or was it last week? Last week, and we shared a few of our goals. And my goal is to get stamps in my pilgrim's credentials from cultural institutions, specifically museums, as well as churches this time. Because last year, I just kind of got stamped from whenever, like from the albergues or cafes, just when I remembered because everyone else was taking taking their credentials out. But this time, I would say that's like my main goal as someone who's like moving from town to town. And when I asked my friend what hers was, she wants to try authentic Spanish tapas. So we will be focusing on those two things as we are doing the Portuguese way. Okay, number 4, I made a bingo card. Maybe you can see it. There are so many things I need to do before I go to Spain, and so many things that I would like to give it a go. Um, so, some of the things on here, like I said, very practical, like buy electrolytes. Yeah, I did that last week and marked it off. Another one of the things on here, which actually appears twice on my bingo card because I want to do it more than once, pee outdoors because I refuse to pop a squat even when I'm on a really long hike. And I realized maybe I just need to break the ice. Maybe I just need to do it once or twice. So I have on my bingo card to pee outdoors. Um, I have other things like book my Madrid rooms. I did do that. Buy earplugs. I also did do that. And then one that appears many times on my bingo card is stand 400 minutes. 400 standing minutes. So my physical like training goal is to do an average of 300 standing minutes a day, and I don't hit that goal on most days. And so in order to improve my average, I have to exceed 300 minutes sometimes. So that appears, I don't know, it appears at least 15 times on my bingo card. And this is not a traditional bingo card. There are way more spots on here than than you would need to hit a bingo. But so far, it's been pretty fun gamifying my experience. Now, the final thing that I am going to list today is that I've just been studying some vocabulary specific to the Camino, because as much as Shrek is helping me with my listening comprehension, there are certainly words that you may want to know on the Camino that I did not know last year. So, for example, sello means stamp, and sendas means like trails, like dirt path trails. Those are words I did not know, and I don't think I learned when I studied Spanish 15 years ago. 15 years ago? 20 years ago. Whew. The best list that I found is on a website called Then We Walked. you can go to thenwewalked.com/camino-de-santiago-words. And so far, best comprehensive list of things that I think would be helpful for you when you do the trail and you have like a middling understanding of the Spanish language. Yeah. Es un sacrificio que estoy dispuesto a aceptar. That is not on the list. That's from Shrek. Yeah, those were the 5 fun things that I've been doing to prepare for the Camino de Santiago. Before I end my video, if you don't know already, there are wildfires happening in Spain, and from my understanding, they are at historic levels. And for many people, myself included, the Camino de Santiago is a novel travel experience, and for others, it's a beautiful moment in their spiritual lives, and for others, it's home. And as someone whose home is also impacted by the annual threat of wildfires, I can, deeply empathize with those who are both directly impacted and those who have anxiety about what the years to come may mean when it comes to wildfires. So whether it's this year or the following year or the year afterwards, like as travelers, you have to be aware that, yeah, your plans can be disrupted, but the lives of others are kind of at stake. So if you are like me and you are traveling to Spain, let's remember to be mindful that this is their home. So yeah. And I feel incredibly privileged to be able to prepare for this journey. Whew.